Happy Thanksgiving month, everybody, and Tony here with my review of Donizetti's Lucia di Lammermoor with once again conductor Matteo Beltrami, which I saw at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. This marks the 7th time I saw Philipp Sanjust's production of Lucia di Lammermoor at the Deutsche Oper Berlin because I wanted to see, hear, and witness Gilda Fiume perform the title role of Lucia di Lammermoor or Lucia Ashton. It's no surprise that Signora Gilda Fiume boasts such a wide repertoire, ranging from the coloratura soubrette role of Marie from La Fille de Régiment, more lyric coloratura roles like Gilda from Rigoletto, Lucia Ashton, of course, and Violetta Valerie from La Traviata and Amina from La Sonnambula, to more dramatic coloratura soprano roles like Donna Anna from Don Giovanni and Norma from Bellini's Norma and Maria di Rudens, and more lyrical roles like Micaela from Carmen. Therefore, Gilda Fiume is versatility incarnate. I mean, she is massively versatile in every role that she has been singing throughout her career. And I was quite curious to see her live because I heard her a couple of times on YouTube singing Anna Bolena's Cabaletta, Coppia Iniqua, and a bit of Bellini's Norma. And based from what I heard from those particular excerpts on YouTube, she did have a really good sounding voice that was capable of beautiful coloratura singing, as well as showed a lot of class, style, and, as I mentioned before, beauty. So how well did her voice hold up in the house tonight? What I really liked about Signora Gilda Fiume's voice is that it had that creaminess to it, and she sounded large enough to fill the house. She eschewed any twitterings found in a lot of the canary singers, more appropriately the coloratura soubrette singers. She managed to fill the house quite well with her voice that had sufficient size and heft, which is something I've always admired in any soprano singing Lucia Ashton. That rich, round, creamy, and sufficiently hefty tone was also backed up by some really great high notes, and she launched at them effortlessly and with a lot of clarion ease. Her greatest highlight was naturally the mad scene, in which she was able to pull all of the stops in terms of big enough singing, as well as just throwing herself into the drama and inhabiting Lucia's final moments before she expires from her madness. She also sang with sufficient nuance, knowing when to sing softly and gently and when she should let her voice out with a bang. Thus, she was able to give a balanced performance full of nuance and beauty. Moreover, I can applaud Gilda Fiume for what she was able to accomplish as Lucia Ashton, all thanks to her plush, clear, rich, and round dramatic coloratura soprano voice that has all the potential to keep on being further polished, as well as keep on shining with brilliance and radiance. I say it has the potential because there were some problem spots I noticed about Gilda Fiume's voice. And the most egregious one was her unclear chest tones. Every time she had to go at those deeper chest tones, there were occasions where she sounded quite hollow. And there were also occasions where she sang in a collapsed head voice. But there were also some occasions where her head voice was quite well balanced. But the lower part of her voice was when things started to go a little bit sour. And I highly encourage Gilda Fiume to keep on strengthening and developing her core so that her chest tones can sound richer and her high notes can be a lot more fully realized, and that her overall tone can keep on growing in charisma and character. It says so much when a lot of the lyric coloratura sopranos of the past, such as Maria Barrientos, Mercedes Capsir, Elvira de Hidalgo, García Pareto, Luisa Tetrazzini, Amelita Galli-Curci, and Toti Del Monte had way more coordinated chest tones and really great chest tones that they were able to produce a lot of vocal acting to make Lucia's insane moments all the more fully realized. I could even say the same thing about other lyric coloratura sopranos such as Dolores Wilson, Anna Moffo, Silvia Gesti, Jeanette Scavati, Valerie Masterson, Patricia Brooks, and Patricia Wise. And lest I forget about the true dramatic coloratura sopranos found in singers such as Margareta Ziems, Josefina Ugoet, Frida Hempel, Maria Callas, Virginia Zaianni, Joan Sutherland, Jutta Fulpius, Leila Jancher, Christina Dötcom, and Christiane Edapierre. Those were real coloratura sopranos, whether they be lyric coloraturas or dramatic coloraturas, who had those real chest tones to be so well combined with their piercing stratospheric high notes. And I'm sure that if Gilda Fiume continues to strengthen her core and keep on using those chest tones, I can see a great future in her for singing a lot more performances of Norma, Ana Bolena, Maria Stuarda, and Elisabetta from Roberto Devereux, as well as other great roles such as Semiramide, Madame Cortese, Mathilde from Guillaume Tell, Rachel from La Juive, Marguerite de Valois from Les Huguenots, Isabelle from Robert le Diable, Esclarmonde, Sita from Le Roi de l'Or, Beatrice di Tenda, Alaide from La Straniera, Giselda from I Lombardi, Amalia from I Masnadieri, Elvira from Ernani, Lucrezia Contarini from I Due Foscari, Luisa Miller, Leonora from Il Trovatore, Elena from I Vespri Siciliani, Anna from Le Villi, Mimi from La Bohème, Chocho-san from Madama Butterfly, and Magda di Civri from La Rondine. The possibilities for Gilda Fiume are absolutely endless, so long as she continues to strengthen her core and keep on strengthening her chest tones so that her voice can sound a lot richer, fuller, and be a lot more incisive from bottom to top. As she was tonight, she was still in good form as Lucia Ashton. Her top notes were there, her charisma was there. She could use a lot more vocal acting by using a lot more chest tones, but the tone of her voice, with her creaminess and that roundness and richness that I love, that manages to eschew any of the chirpings of the coloratura soubrette sopranos, managed to make her quite the standout tonight. And I would love to see what future there is for Gilda Fiume in a lot more dramatic coloratura soprano roles, because she does have a good instrument and she can keep on developing it and strengthening it with a lot more core and a lot more chestiness to bring a lot more volume and to bring in a lot more charisma and character. Ariana Manganello struck again as Alisa, and it's all thanks to her creamy tone and that luscious instrument that managed to make her characterization of Alisa absolutely brilliant in its own special way. Byung-gil Kim also struck again as Raimondo. I've seen him perform this role for nearly 5 to 6 years now, and he has evolved in his dramatic intensity as a singing actor. He was a lot more involved as an actor, a lot more charismatic, and his ever strong and ever sturdy stage presence continues to be a major asset that made Byung-gil Kim win in my eyes. Yes, his voice continues to sound coarse, crude, rough, and kind of uneven in certain areas. But that dark tone and roundness that I love in many a bass baritone or basso cantante singing Raimondo were still there. Yes, it could be a lot smoother in emission. Yes, he could learn a lot more from a lot of my favorite Raimondos of the past, such as Salvatore Baccaloni, Giuseppe Modesti, Plinio Clavassi, and Ezio Flagello, because they had had smoother emissions, complete with squealo, and they sounded a lot freer in their vocal production. But I still have to give Byung-gil Kim a whole lot of credit for what he was able to accomplish, let alone continue to accomplish as Raimondo Bidevent. He was a strong singing actor. He managed to be a lot more theatrically present. He grew a lot more in charisma, and his signature, sturdy, strong stage presence made him an absolutely inviting singing actor and all the more charismatic in my eyes. So he still wins as a singing actor. He still wins in terms of his overall involvement as an actor who even sees just how chaotic everything is gonna be when Enrico and to some extent Normanno interfere with Edgardo's and Lucia's undying love for each other, and even sees how much Lucia has lost her mind because of how forlorn she feels, and even witnesses Edgardo's suicide to the point of helplessness. That is just how much more involved Byung-gil Kim has been as a singing actor. And even though some listeners might still find his voice kind of crude, coarse, and rough around the edges, he's still a charismatic singing actor who continued to give the goods theatrically and vocally and used his bass baritone voice to the best of his abilities. So I still have to salute Byung-gil Kim for what he was able to deliver and do so with greater flair, thus showing his growth as a singing actor. Speaking of continuing to show growth, Dean Murphy also continued to grow in a lot more charisma and vocal strength. He was able to let out his high notes with pure abandon, and his vocal richness continues to be in way more evidence than ever before. Therefore, I salute Dean Murphy for continuing to do a laudable job as Enrico Ashton, complete with his trademark Cavalier baritone voice ringing throughout the theater, and doing so with flair, charisma, and additional strength. Andrei Danilov just keeps on getting stronger and stronger as a singing actor. And he also continues to win the platinum, titanium, gold medal in my eyes, as well as acquire a whole lot of A+ from yours truly for delivering such an outstandingly superlative and excellent performance as Edgardo Ravenswood. His usage of squealo is still as strong, formidable, and mighty as ever. He continues to grow in that excellent quality that I've always admired about Signore Andrei Danilov, and he did so with great laudability and great excellence. That is just how much of a grand singing actor Andrei Danilov was, and I continue to salute him for his incredible vocal and theatrical prowess as Edgardo Ravenswood, all thanks to his steely, rich, voluminous, and excellently toned full lyric tenor voice that managed to ring, ping, and oscillate in the best possible way from bottom to top. In fact, I can see a magnificent future in Andrei Danilov singing roles like Manrico from Il Trovatore, Il Conte di Libenskov from Il Viaggio a Reims, Arnold from Guillaume Tell, Idreno from Semiramide, Percy from Anna Bolenna, Lester from Maria Stuarda, Roberto Devereux, Poglione from Norma, Orombello from Beatrice di Tenda, Arturo from La Straniera, Arvino from I Lombardi, Ernanni, Jacopo Foscari from I Due Foscari, Carlo Moore from I Masnadieri, Rodolfo Walter from Luisa Miller, Arrigo from I Vespri Siciliani, Roberto from Le Villi, Pinkerton from Madama Butterfly, Eleazar from La Juive, Paul de Nangy from Les Huguenots, and Robert le Diable. The possibilities for Signore Danilov to continue singing these amazingly wonderful roles for a star tenor are absolutely endless. and he managed to prove it tonight with his stellar performance as Edgardo Ravenswood, a role that he has been singing for some years by now and managed to do so with excellence and brilliance. I will say this once and I will say this again. Signore Andrei Danilov was truly born to sing the role of Edgardo Ravenswood, and his heroism, his squillo, and his voluminous voice that managed to be full of charisma and a formidable presence managed to make him excellent, let alone outstandingly superlative in my eyes and ears. Kieran Carell was a handsome and sturdy Arturo Bucklaw, all thanks to his light lyric tenor voice being quite pleasant to listen to and even growing a lot more in pleasantness, all thanks to that sweet color that he has, and making the best out of this superb yet pretty thankless character part. And Jörg Schörner continues to be a strong performer as Normanno, all thanks to his trademark character tenor voice. So overall, the singing managed to be of really good quality. Andrei Danilov continues to outsing all the performers tonight as Edgardo Ravenswood. In fact, it's no easy task for someone like Andrei Danilov to outsing the likes of Gilda Fiume as Lucia Ashton, Byung-gil Kim as Raimondo, and Dean Murphy as Enrico Ashton. He managed to do so with great flair and do so with great excellence. I also still have to give a lot of kudos to Gilda Fiume for her overall fine artistry as Lucia Ashton. Her creamy, round, rich, and sufficiently voluminous tone made her an absolutely wonderful singer in her own special way. Sure, she could still use a lot more development in reaching, let alone improving on those chest tones so that her voice can continue to grow a lot more in character and in richness. But her musicianship, as well as the effort, the really strong effort that she managed to pull off, made her shine in her own special way and do so with a lot of laudability and a whole lot of class in her. I also dare not forget about the superb efforts mastered by Byung-gil Kim as Raimondo Bidemet, Dean Murphy as Enrico Ashton, Kieran Carell as Arturo Bucklaw, Jörg Schörner as Normanno, and Ariana Manganello as Alisa. Everybody managed to do a fantastic job, but more than anybody, it was Andrei Danilov's absolutely outstanding and superbly superlative performance as Edgardo that managed to be at the first place, let alone perched atop the medal platform tonight, all thanks to his performance as Edgardo, following suit with Gilda Fiume's absolutely wonderful portrayal and vocal artistry, let alone musicianship, as Lucia Ashton, especially accompanied by Dean Murphy's ever-strong Enrico and Byung-gil Kim's ever-growing flair for drama as Raimondo Bidevent. So Signora Danilov and Signora Fiume managed to do superbly as the tragic lovers and do so with great flair and awesome chemistry. The conducting done by Matteo Beltrami managed to grow in a great deal of nuance. I also love that he was able to help out Gilda Fiume in some of her moments, especially when she had to sing her lines with a lot of nuance, most specifically when she had to sing the cabaletta of the duet between her and Enrico, Se tradirmi tu potrai, in which she was able to sing with sufficient softness and plaintiveness of Lucia's plight before being married off to Arturo. That was just how much Signore Beltrami grew in nuance as a conductor, and do so with a lot more flair and more balance in the music. as well as continuing to involve the chorus and orchestra so well. And what more can you say about the chorus and the orchestra of the Deutsche Oper Berlin? They were all superb and managed to bolster the performance with their artistry, musicianship, and overall great performing charisma. Gilda Fiume may have had a strong first impression on me live as Lucia Ashton, and it was all thanks to her creamy, rich, voluminous, and round tone that managed to climb well throughout the high notes and do so with sufficient beauty and great musicianship. But out of all the soloists tonight, Andrei Danilov as Edgardo managed to continue to be the strongest performer tonight. He managed to continue to outsing the Lucia, Enrico, and Raimondo of the evening with great flair and great strength, and do so with excellent laudability. Although Gilda Fiume had some issues with her chest tones and really engaging her core, I could still give her credit for what she was able to accomplish as a fine musician, with a lot of her great high notes being put to fabulous show, as well as that rich, creamy tone that managed to make her sufficiently full of character and charm, and of course her elegant musicianship being put to fine use. Special acknowledgement continues to go to Dean Murphy as Enrico, Byung-gil Kim as Raimondo, Kieran Carell as Arturo Bucklaw, Jörg Schörner as Normanno, and Arianna Manganello as Alisa for contributing so well to tonight's performance, starring Gilda Fiume as Lucia Ashton, and most especially Andrei Danilov as Edgardo. They were able to bolster tonight's performance with their strong musicianship and do so with amazing flair. And for those of you who caught this performance of Donizetti's Lucia di Lammermoor at the Deutsche Oper Berlin, what'd you think of it? Did you feel that Gilda Fiume was a strong singer as Lucia Ashton? Did you also feel that Andrei Danilov managed to be the best singer of the evening? Did you also feel that Gilda Fiume and Andrei Danilov managed to be on equal terms as great singing actors? Was there another singer who stole the thunder off their feet, such as Dean Murphy as Enrico, Byung-gil Kim as Raimondo, Kieran Carell as Arturo, Jörg Schörner as Normanno, or Arianna Manganello as Alisa? Or did you feel like the singing was not to your liking? Please let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it for my review of Donizetti's Lucia di Lammermoor, starring Gilda Fiume as Lucia Ashton. Tune in next time for my review of Mozart's Die Zauberflöte, starring Kang Yoon Shine Lee as Tamino. So until then, good night everybody, and happy Thanksgiving month.